Ever wondered what lies beyond the surface of Roblox's seemingly innocent facade? What if I told you there are experiences so deeply disturbing, so cursed, they feel like they shouldn't even exist? This isn't just a list, it's a journey into the unsettling heart of Roblox. Here are 5 of the most cursed, genuinely unsettling Roblox games that feel wrong in a way jump scare spam never quite achieves. At number 5, we have Doors. At first, it feels like a roguelike with spooky flavor. Then, the game learns you. It punishes hesitation, mocks confidence, and trains you to fear silence more than noise. When a room stays quiet for too long, your pulse spikes because you know the game is about to test whether you are paying attention. What makes these cursed isn't gore or shock value, it's how they mess with perception, patience, and expectation. They let your imagination do the heavy lifting, which is always more brutal than scripted terror. Roblox horror is at its best when it feels like the engine itself is haunted. Doors plays with expectation like a magician with misdirection. A room that's quiet becomes eerie because silence itself becomes suspicious. The logic feels manipulated, not broken, but stretched. You anticipate error because the game trains you. The variety of entities and triggers feels like a developer sandbox for every horror trope. It's almost too many experiments at once, layered so that your mind tries to predict but never quite catches up. That chaos is a design experiment in itself. The true curse here isn't any single monster, it's pattern recognition gone wrong. The game conditions you to fear possibility itself. It's the horror of maybe rather than definitely. And that uncertainty persists when nothing is happening. At number 4 is The Mimic. Japanese folklore horror with oppressive atmosphere, distorted environments, and monsters that don't rush you, they wait. Hallways stretch too long, doors open too slowly, and the sound design is ruthless. You spend most of the game bracing for impact that arrives later than you expect. The environments warp and twist with surreal logic, corridors that feel too long, doors that don't behave like doors. It's not random glitchiness, but a controlled disturbance of spatial expectation, and that unsettles your sense of orientation and safety. The game borrows and repurposes folklore, but it also experiments with pacing. It punishes you for looking around too long in some rooms, and rewards you with silence that feels like bait. It's scary because the rules keep shifting in ways you don't fully grasp. The real terror is cultural and psychological. Entities don't always attack, they observe, they wait. That gaze, that unseen attention, is a horror that persists after you've logged off. The Mimic ensures your brain remains part of the monster's ecosystem. Finally, the top 3. At number 3 is Jim's Computer. This is Roblox pretending it isn't Roblox. You're using a fake desktop, browsing files, clicking folders, uncovering fragments of a deeply unsettling story. No loud scares, just dread that thickens as you realize you're poking into something you really shouldn't. It feels like digital trespassing. This one feels like you've tampered with reality. You aren't in a conventional Roblox map, you're inside an interface, redirecting files and opening folders. It's meta and mind-twisty. The game pretends to be something it isn't. That's the textbook of glitch-like cosmic horror. The devs treated the platform not as a game engine, but as a narrative engine. You're digging through coded evidence, and the structure subverts typical Roblox UI. It's an experiment in form, and it feels illicit. Here, the horror is intellectual. There's no physical monster. The dread is in what you uncover and what you think you'll uncover next. It's the feeling of reading someone's forbidden research notes, and it sticks in your mind because the threat feels personal and invasive. At number 2 is Alone in a Dark House. This one is old-school psychological horror done disturbingly well. The house feels lived in, but not alive. Footsteps above you, a radio that talks when it shouldn't, long stretches where nothing happens until it does. The scariest moments are when you're absolutely sure something is watching you and the game refuses to confirm it. The ambiance makes every creak feel like a physics error. The lighting engine and shadows are manipulated so your brain anticipates movement that never comes. It's like the game's code wants you to mistrust depth perception. The developers toy with expectation. You don't get health bars or normal objectives. Instead, the horror is found in environmental storytelling. Dusty chairs, flickering lights, doors that close when you're not looking. That's a design choice that feels near forbidden because it blurs gameplay and uncanny narrative. The house doesn't reveal its scariness with jump scares, but with implied occupancy, a sense that something else shares the space. Your nervous system fills in blanks far terrifying than any scripted ghost. And finally, the god-tier horror game, Backrooms. The fear here is not monsters, it's time. Endless yellow halls, buzzing lights, no music, no UI, and the creeping realization that nothing is coming to save you. Some versions quietly change layout behind you, so retracing steps fails. Your brain starts doing the screaming for the game. This game absolutely feels like a glitch in the simulation. Endless hallways, impossible geometry, and a lack of save points make it feel like the world refuses to behave predictably. You round a corner and the room is subtly different. That's the uncanny valley of game design. Logic fails you. There's a strange minimalist philosophy at work. No UI, no goals, no enemies in some versions. It's almost like the developer asked, what if fear were just the absence of information? That's a kind of experimental design that intentionally deprives players of comfort. The dread here is existential. There's no monster chasing you. You are the monster's idea of fun. Your own uncertainty becomes the horror. The game feels cursed not because something jumps out, but because nothing ever happens, pressuring your brain into inventing threats. Across these games, the scariest threads aren't just monsters or screams. They're about expectation management, control subversion, and the feeling that the game isn't obeying the rules you thought you understood. That's where the uncanny and the cursed really live, just at the edge of what your brain should be able to predict. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment.